Today's topic is inspired by one of my clients. His name's Jason. He doesn't mind me sharing this with you guys, but he said that he was really struggling in finding himself. He didn't know who he was anymore, and he'd been a bit stressed at work. He had a number of things not going quite right for him, and he was feeling a little bit lost. He said to me that he was feeling broken. He was just broken. He didn't know where to go, and it was hurting. So anyway, I wanted to share this because it's again a pretty common, like most things I talk about, I'm talking about the patterns in life that sometimes we are too afraid to speak up and share because we feel like we're in it alone, when ultimately we're not. We're not. And sharing actually helps us understand that there is support out there if we need it. And also that we can work through it in a way that allows us to live in our truth and be much more courageous and back ourselves in a different way. So why is it important to live our authentic selves and be living in our truth? So for me, it's in my own personal experience, I think I was feeling numb for a long time. I'd had quite a number of life-defining experiences. I was unwell, and my parents passed away within the same 12 months. So that meant that my ability to deal with life, I was really just surviving. I did know who I was, but it wasn't really something that I wanted to live in a way, because I was in so much pain myself. So I put everything aside and I put it in a box and I put it away for a little while, and eventually started to really tap into who I was, and I kind of do me most of the time. But it's important for us to live in our authenticity, because we are living in a state of friction, which then plays out as stress in our bodies, and it affects our relationships in our lives. So another way of describing it is the feeling of faking it till you make it. And while I kind of appreciate that as a point, the way we would describe that doesn't resonate with me, because you don't need to fake it till you make it. You just need to back yourself and believe it. The other one that I've got here is that people constantly feel like they're a fraud. So it's about going to that job every day and doing that thing you don't love, but it's okay, it's comfortable. So it's kind of like a bit ho-humish, isn't it, really? But it's something that we all do to some degree. And sometimes that does serve us. It's more resourceful to stay in a place as long as we reduce our friction and self-talk around that, and we have a level of self-awareness that serves us in terms of what we need. Without knowing who we are unable to fully allow the flow of life and to open up to love and trust. And we do not trust ourselves fully sometimes. And when we don't, it affects our effectiveness at work, and it affects life in the choices that we make, and it also affects our relationships. And because life is not the same, I know I've just turned 50, and life has changed quite dramatically for me over the 50 years from when I was growing up, moving countries 3 times, and a couple of years ago ending a long-term relationship, and then meeting the love of my life. But it's really about being able to look at our consistent practices that we have for ourselves in order to tune into what's true for us. And sometimes those things stay stable and consistent, and then sometimes we need to change them up depending on where we're at. There was a number of years that I wasn't able to do a whole lot of health and fitness, or fitness stuff anyway, certainly focused on health, but the amount of pain that I was in reduced the amount of exercise that I did. So I probably could have learned how to do some other things, but I was just in so much pain. My head was in a different place, and I didn't have that level of self-awareness. So I also like to see our living in our truth is the ability to let our inner light shine brightly without being dimmed by anyone or anything around us. And it's the ease of how that feels and the positive impact that we can have on the life of others. That's really important. So here's some things. Here's 6 steps that I've got, which helped lead Jason down the path of finding himself. And these are some of the things that I've done for myself as well. So the first one is know what you need in all parts of your life and don't settle for less. That's knowing what you need. Take responsibility. Number 2, take responsibility of your own passions and goals and dreams and desires, and stop being a passenger in other people's dreams. So if you've got goals that you share with your partner, that's fine, but you need to have a set of goals that you have for yourself as well. Number 3, stop compartmentalizing. As I mentioned earlier, I put a whole lot of the things that I am passionate about in life into a box and forgot about them for a little while, and that was resourceful for a period of time. But it's when you start to bring every part of your life together, that's when you live in your truth. You make decisions that are right for you, and the flow actually happens. You reduce your friction at work. You no longer choose to go to a job every day that you hate. You no longer choose to do the things in your life that you feel like you don't really want to do. You make better choices. And then get to know who you are. So number 4, this is really around knowing your priorities and your values and your goals. Number 5, check in with your personal development. And this is around your mindset, fitness, health, energetic and spiritual growth. And for some people that's religion. For me, that's around doing things like meditation and Reiki and different psychic development type activities around my intuition. So number 6 is making the choices that allow you to feel like the true you. So this is as you start to get to know who you are, you then choose more wisely of the things that you actually want to do that helps you stay in that moment of truth. So know that you can say no to others in a very respectful way. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thanks for tuning in. And I'd love to hear what's triggering your inner fraud right now and how it is for you. Let me know in the comments box below. And if you feel that this has been beneficial, then feel free to go ahead and share it with anyone that you know. Thanks. Catch you